for today's event. And everybody here watched the video, right? Okay, good. Okay, well, welcome to day number 3 of our Google Apps calendar class. So we're going to do a little bit of review. Today we're going to work on sharing calendars. Give everybody a little practice doing that, so we'll create some calendars and just delete them. And today is July 8th. July 8th, 2015. Okay, good. So we're doing well. And did you guys have any thunderstorms in California yesterday?
No.
Okay, we had flash flood warnings here. It rained in Henderson and on the west side here heavily yesterday. But we didn't have any rain here yesterday, right? Did it rain here?
Yeah.
Oh, but not, I mean, did it rain downtown during school? Yeah, it was clear, right? It's hot, 100.
It rained quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so there was some rain here, but not today, right? Okay, so some other housekeeping things that we have on behalf of Chow Tuti, 2 interviews today. One is with Carmine's New York City, which is one of the Whopper Italian restaurants. They're like, does anybody know Claim Jumper?
Yeah.
Okay, what is Claim Jumper known for? What else? Desserts? The portion size.
Yeah, large.
Yeah, large portions. Okay. So supposedly Carmine's New York City is the same thing but for Italian food. Their goal is that everybody takes food home. Whatever you order, everybody takes food home. That it's not small portions. In fact, they have a concierge or valet service. So they're talking about in Washington, D.C., or no, New York City, you want to go to the basketball game, you drive to Carmine's, they'll valet your car for $10. You have dinner, they'll valet your food, so when the game is over, you come back to get your car and you get your food, your leftover food, and you go home. So we'll be interviewing them. It's the largest Italian restaurant in Las Vegas. They're in the Forum Shops, so that means it's not cheap, but it's 33,000 square feet. How large is that?
1,500. Like
A house? A typical house is less than 2,000 square feet. It's like 16, huh? It's, no. No. So an acre is about 43,000 square feet. So it's 3/4 of an acre. And an acre is about the size of a football field. So this place is about 3/4 of the size of a football field. It's 2 stories. And they're known for having long lines of people that go there because it's not expensive. And they're in the Forum Shop. So we interview them at 11:30 today. And one of my missions is for them to agree to hire our graduates in entry-level positions in customer service, sales, marketing, accounting, not restaurant positions necessarily. So we have that, and then we have, what else today, Keith? Chicago Joe's, right. That's at 2:30 today. So people here will be with George doing GED, but Chicago Joe's, what's the big deal about Chicago Joe's? Do you know?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a downtown Italian restaurant that's been here for over 30 years. And it's like in an old brick house. It's on 824th Street. So it's right down there. Huh? Yeah. So those are 2 interviews today. And then what do we have tomorrow? Oh, Phil Molino. Il Molino is in Caesars, and it's one of the top restaurants. I think we got both of the things today because of Thomas's mother, right? Who works at Cisco, likes what we're doing, and she saw what we do on the internet or something like that, or she got a copy of Ciao Tutti, and anyway. And then tomorrow is Il Molino, which is one of the best Italian restaurants in Las Vegas. One of the kinds that once in a lifetime, you want to go spend a couple $100 a person on dinner type of thing. That's what Il Molino is. So good things are happening at Ciao Tutti. And it's all because of what? Well, Google Calendar. No, no. It's because we plan our work and we work our plan. And when you get a little momentum going, as Gina said from the TED Talk we watched this morning, if you reach out or if you connect with people who are passionate about what you're talking about, they will remark about it. They will repeat. They will talk to their friends about it, and something good can start happening. And that's what's happening with Ciao Tutti right now is we're getting people to talk about Ciao Tutti. And for the students here, this is a project we work on. It'd be good to get people in California to work on it. I think once we figure out how to do it here, we can export it to California. But so we watch TED Talks in the morning, and then you kind of get a, okay, I understand what they're saying. I'm going to forget 70% of it tomorrow if I don't review it, but I like what I'm hearing. And that's as far as the TED Talks go. So by doing what we see in the TED Talks, it now becomes of, aha, now I see this stuff really does work. Then, and of course by doing it, we remember, right? Then when we get in an interview and talk about what experience do you have, why should we hire you, how are you going to make us money or save us money, you can talk about getting people to connect, becoming remarkable, project we did at the school, the magazine at the school, and if you've done your research, which you should have done on your prospective employer, then to be able to say, and here's what can be remarkable about your business. So now to tie that back to my Carmine's interview today, so now I'm going to try something a little different when I interview people, is to try to get them to tell me the things they think are remarkable, that they want people to be talking about. Portion size is one, largest Italian restaurant is another one, valet. But so my thought, what I'm going to test, my experiment is to ask them to tell me what's remarkable about Carmine's. We have it on our YouTube video live for the world and for other people to see, and we'll be able to test whether people actually do remark about what they think is remarkable. So I think that's kind of cool. Let's see. Okay. Anybody have any questions about where we are in calendars before we start? Nobody has any questions on calendars? So if we take the calendar quiz, everybody's going to pass? Okay. So. Okay. Okay, so you hear all that? These are people here being too clever by half, sending notes back and forth to one another. Okay, that's not the purpose of Google Apps SMS. That's to do later, not when we're here in class, and certainly not when I'm trying to direct people to know what they're doing. So, calendars. So where are you, Dwayne? Where's the challenge you have? Do you have your calendars made?
I got one made.
Okay. Okay. Now, so how should get ready to do what Thomas is going to tell you? How to create another calendar? Thomas.
I'll go create.
Okay.
And name it, right?
Yep.
Okay, I got that.
Okay, so that part's good. So you got one calendar done. You know how to do the other ones. What's another challenge? How about events?
Have a tinker around with that one.
Okay, can you name one of the 6 ways that we came up with creating an event?
By email.
Okay, how an email? You chose the hardest one.
Oh. Sure.
How? How do you do it in email? Any tag team buddy? Huh?
If you create an event, you open it up.
Okay, so Jesse's offering to tag team.
You go to your inbox, you click on an email that somebody sent you, then at the top you go to more, click create.
Okay, so you were right around there. You probably could have done it. You didn't articulate it that well, but I think you could have done it.
Yeah.
So you have to open an email. The last time we did this, which was February or March, April, I don't know, whenever we did this before, a lot of people were getting frustrated because when you don't have the email open and you click on the More button, guess what's not there? Create event isn't there. So people were forgetting the part that if you want to, from your email, if you want to add an event or create an event from within Gmail, you have to have an email open. In other words, you can't say, oh, do I want to compose an email? Do I want to read an email? Or do I want to add something to the calendar? You can't do that. Okay, so the More button, when you're just on your inbox page, you don't have any emails opened up, clicking the More button at the top does not give you a choice of create event.
More button from our Gmail?
Yeah, so I asked Dwayne, how do you create an event in Calendar? He said Gmail. And I said, wow, that's the hardest, you picked the hardest one. Tell me how to create an event. And so Jesse stepped in, helped Dwayne, but I think Dwayne had it. But the key thing everybody needs to know, from Gmail, you cannot create an event unless you have an email open. You have to be in a position to reply. And hopefully you might remember, somebody might remember that when you are in Gmail, if you receive an email from somebody and they say, hey, how about if we do this in the future? You know, some event. What do we do now? What do you do now if somebody says, hey, you want to go to dinner next week? Figuratively. Okay, yeah, that's what we all do. That habit we need to break. What should you do?
Check your calendar first.
No.
Look at your calendar.
No, don't look at your calendar. You go click the More button and you create an event. In other words, if you receive the habit we need to be into, if you receive an email from somebody and they make a suggestion, how about doing something someday in the future? Right now we think whenever we get an email from somebody, we reply, right? Okay. So in the future, we don't reply if it has to do with an event. You only reply to an idea or a statement. If it's talking about let's go do something in the future, don't reply, click create event. Put it on your calendar, and your calendar will send them back an email. Okay, I have a bunch of confused faces.
Well, I mean, what if you are a busy type of person? I mean, I would look at my calendar.
Okay, you don't
first.
need to look at your calendar first. By hitting create event, it's going to take you to your calendar.
And it'll let you know if you're occupied or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You don't remember. Okay, so go back and remember, there are people, very smart people at Google, that their only job is calendar. So whatever we could think about, God, this would be great on calendar, it's probably there, if it's really a good idea. Some ideas we have are what they call half-baked. You know, they seem good, but then when you get all the way through them, it's, yeah, that was a dumb idea. So Google has people that go through all of that stuff. And so they're thinking in terms of, well, we need to change people's behavior from hitting reply to going to their calendar, but it's going to be really tough for somebody that gets an email. They just read this email. Oh, don't reply to the email. Go check your calendar first and then reply. They'd say that's just too hard. People aren't going to do that. There's no way we're going to get people to do that. But maybe we can get people to click create event instead of reply. And if you click create event, what's going to happen? It's going to pull up your calendar, and it's going to have that email in it that you were just looking at. That's going to be in the description box. So you type above that, let's do lunch on Tuesday. His email's already added to the invite list, and you push send. You just replied, but you replied as an invitation to an event on your calendar. So if he says yes, now you know, okay, this thing is done. If he says no, I can't make it, then you get notified, the event comes off your calendar, and it's all very good and slick. So, but what we have to do is get in the habit, and it's not easy to do. I'm only about 60, 70% of the way there now, because I get caught up. I read an email, I want to reply. But some emails you don't want to reply to. You want to create an event on your calendar. Okay. So what would be an example of where you want to reply? Other than an example I just gave. Okay.
Interview.
Okay, interview. Okay, you want to get interviews set up. And if they say, when's a convenient time for an interview? When are you available for an interview? Anybody ever get anything like that? When are you available for an interview? Do you think they're going to be more impressed if they get a reply email or if they get a calendar request? They're going to be more impressed if they get a calendar request email from you. And all they just have to check is, yes, I'm going. They don't even need to reply to you. Sounds good, yeah. They just hit yes. So, and it makes you look much more professional. So an interview would be one example. What would be another example of not hitting reply but creating an event? Anybody in California?
A job assistant.
A job assistant? Back to that problem. I'm going to turn on. So Joe, if you could join this. If you could join the event, the Hangout on Air, and I just turned on chat because for some reason I think you just have an old microphone up there that it fills up the buffer on your computer or something. It can only handle a couple words. Okay. Anybody else here have an idea of what else would you create an event for?
Well, like with your friends, social events.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I always get like, I barely check my mail, but emails from my friends like, are you going to attend the party? Can you show
Okay.
up or something?
Right. Okay. So that would be something. Talking about doing something social with your friends. Instead of just replying saying, yeah, hit create event, fill out the thing, send it. It makes it easy for everybody. And it might seem kind of corny at this stage, like, well, I'm not the kind of person that sends out calendar requests. That's not me. That's somebody more highfalutin. But after you do it a couple times, you'll see the other people think it's cool, and it kind of becomes remarkable. Then they want to start doing it. They might say, hey, how'd you do that? That was cool. And they might be thinking that you're going into your calendar. That you see an email, oh, I'm going to go to my calendar, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to copy and paste, etc. But you don't have to do that. Okay, so what's another way to create an event? Joe?
Going to create event, or quick. That quick calendar. Also.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Also Google.
So let's see. Quick add or create, right. Okay, good. So we've got that down. So there's the creating events on the calendar is fundamentally the basic purpose of the calendar, is to create events. And what time period could those events be for?
All day or within the hours.
Okay, what else? What time period could an event be for? All day, well that's all day or part of the day. That's kind of like a today thing, right? Or a future thing. What? What, Dennis?
Basically,
Did you say past, present, or future?
no.
Yeah, so all events are either for the past, present, or future, but we tend to think in terms of present and future. We don't think about the past in terms of our calendars, and that's the thing that we really need to do. You know, I'll tell you a very good exercise that we'll probably do starting at 10 till, no, not 10 till, at 20 till, is to go back from some day. I would normally say today, but that might be kind of tough. But go back to last year on your birthday and say, just put in a little note, what was your life like? And then go back the year before that, or go back 10 years ago and look at what were you doing, just type in there, what were you doing 10 years ago? What were you doing 20 years ago on your birthday? What were you doing 5 years ago? And just fill that in on your personal calendar and be thinking in your brain, you know, 5 years ago, if I had to list the 100 possible things I could be doing on today, 5 years ago, is there any chance that what I'm doing today would be on my list? Does anybody here think that 5 years ago on today, so it's July 8th, if on July 8th, 2010, somebody said to you, list the 100 possible things that you think you might be doing on July 8th, 2015. Does anybody think they would list anything remotely similar to being here?
I would.
You would? You'd say you'd be going to school? Okay. Going to school? Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. I was in school 5 years ago today.
No, but if 5 years ago you said, what are you going to be doing 5 years in the future?
Yeah.
Now, then if you want to make it even more cool, then what you do is you add to your calendar, like on your birthday next year, 5 years from now, what you want to be doing. What's that called, Phyllis?
Vision.
Sort of like a vivid vision. And you know what's going to happen? You write that down, you're going to remember it. You're not going to remember exactly what you wrote, but you're going to remember you wrote something. And you're going to try to, your brain is going to try to steer you in the direction of accomplishing that. So these are other things that calendars are for. It's not just who do I need to meet, where, when. It's keeping a record of your past, present, and future of what you want to do. And so, you know, I would put the, what was I doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I would put that on my Res Gesti calendar because it wouldn't be cluttered up with everything else. And then I would go 5, 10, 15 years out in the future of what I wanted to do. And, you know, at Hope for Prisoners, it's 1 year, right, Phyllis? It's 1 year from graduation, right?
Yep.
So at Hope for Prisoners, they do, where are you going to be 1 year from graduation? And the act of writing it out in detail, right, Phyllis? When you visualize that, your brain, your connectome, is going to make that happen because that's what you program your brain to do. If you believe that, you know, if your vivid vision is true, and you say to your brain, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish, these 80 billion cells, neurons in your brain with 10,000 dendrites each, whichever one's apply to that, they're going to try to make that happen because that's what you told you wanted it to do. Now, what if you have your finger crossed behind your back when you say that? Here's what I want to do. I have my fingers crossed. No, not really. I don't really want to do it. You're not going to accomplish it. And do they tell you that, Phyllis, in your vivid vision, that this is something you have to believe you can do? Do they tell you, write it down if you don't believe it? Yeah, because if you say to yourself, well, I'm going to do this, but not really. I just want this to sound good for everyone else. Do they warn you about that at all? Yeah. If you say, okay, here's where I want to be a year from now, but I know I'm not really going to do that. Do you think there's any chance you're going to do it? No. Why? What did you program your brain to do? You programmed your brain to not do that. So you're not going to do it. That's why it's very important to not give yourself negative talk, because your brain is going to do whatever you tell it to do, if it can, within the laws of physics as we know them. Your brain is going to try to do that. And a calendar is a good way to help condition and train your brain to be your servant. Not your master, but to be your servant. Here's what I want to do. I want to meet this guy on that date. Here's what I want to accomplish. And here's what I did in the past. Here's where I want to be 5 years from now. And the great news is, because of the cloud, you never have to wonder where you wrote this down, right? You can access it from anywhere. Remember in the old days you have a diary? Anybody ever have a diary or a journal? Nobody's ever had a diary or journal? Anybody cry when Old Yeller died? Okay, a couple of people. So, is it practical to have a journal or a diary? What's the scary part? What, Joe?
I think is way more practical.
Okay, I think a journal and a diary are very important, but the impractical part is if somebody else can read it, unless you don't care about other people reading it, you're going to only write stuff that you're willing to let other people see. But because of the cloud, so if it's a physical journal, then you have to think of where can I hide it? Where can I do all of this stuff? Hold on 1 second. Okay, so then you're not going to really write down what you want, but if because of the cloud, because of the Google Cloud that we use, you can have a journal, you can have a diary, and you don't have to worry about anybody reading it. Why? How can you do that? Not have to worry about anybody reading it.
Well, it goes to the cloud. Who knows where that is? How can you get it?
Huh?
I said it goes to the cloud. Who knows where that is to begin with? And then you got to have your password and everything.
Okay, but if somebody has your password, how do you prevent them from reading your journal? Well, one thing is you don't call it my journal. Here's my secret journal, my top secret personal information that I don't want to share with anybody, version 5. You don't do that. So you call it something that is innocuous, or that they don't want to open it because it could be something bad, like malware. If you have a file called or a folder called virus or malware, most people aren't going to go there because you just never know. Okay, or you have it buried in subfolders of subfolders of subfolders. You know what the name is called because you remember what you call it, so you can pull it up by just doing a Google search. Right? You know the name, you pull it by a Google search, but if you wanted to find it, it would be very hard to find it because you have folders and subfolders and subfolders of folders. So, so that would be a way to keep the journal. Now, let's go back because we've got a few minutes to talk about creating and sharing calendars. So, what we want to do is an exercise where we create calendars and we share them with other people. So I would say we've got some clumps of people here. So maybe Jesse, you in the back row, you can create a calendar and share it with your row, and you guys create one, and then you 5 over here create one, and Phyllis and Deshaun, you do it with Tamika and Thomas. So let's, yeah, okay. And so what everybody in the row has to do is they have to be able to be on the calendar. So it's not that you just create it and share it, but other people have to actually get to it. Okay? How do you get to your calendar? If somebody shares a calendar with you, how do you know that?
Email.
Yeah, from your email. Okay, so let's see who gets it done first. Which team? Whatever you want. Hetza Petza. That's what Dwayne was thinking.
We create calendar on weekend. Go on the date and time or something we want to do. Push on the actual calendar and do it on our email.
First thing you guys want
He said for us to do it in teams. I guess y'all do want to send it to us and we do want to send it to you. I guess. Yeah, he wants us to create a calendar and share it with them.
Make sure a calendar, look on it. Okay, click on what though? On the little arrow. Anything like here? Or whatever one you want to share it with, right? I'm gonna probably share, tasks. Okay. Some of them don't. What's your number? I do, make go down and share a calendar, right? Go down there. Now, how you this?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, you deal with this, any person right here? Okay. So, take this, copy this, and put it up there. Well, like this one's already shared with you. So let's see. First.
What's yours, Tom?
Okay.
No numbers?
Yeah, whatever you want. Then go down and click on whatever you want.
Or wherever you can find it. I mean, something else.
Alright, there's nothing on it, so.
Sorry.
Oh, .com, yeah, I forgot the .com. Yeah, same. Go back.
We got all your email. Email address. What's your email address? Okay. Hold on.
It's gonna be settings.
Okay, so what is it? L.
Okay.
L. T.
6515.
What's his last name?
B. Dot.
Just put
Thomas.
And what is it again, Phyllis?
D.
6.
Dot.
So this would be a good time to make sure everybody has added everybody in their circle.
What was it? What email was it?
Everybody's in their
No,
circle.
no, no, number.
They'd already be in your contact list.
62915.
Can we get a refresh?
62915. 62915.
Did it start?
I got a calendar. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, the other share with Phyllis. Deshaun at 62115 at Larson Budget. 621. So it's 62115. 621. She didn't say last name. Is it the G, Phyllis? It's no G in Deshaun, right? It's just Deshaun dot 62115 at Larson Budget.
Okay, does anybody have it? Anybody in California got it?
Okay, how you send it?
Don't send it, you share with it. We're done.
You're done? Okay, how about in California? Is anybody done, Dennis?
Yeah, we
You guys were done 10 minutes ago? Okay. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Who's not done? Are you guys done, Jesse? Everybody opened it up? Desmond, were you able to get it? Good. Easier than you thought?
Yeah, I thought I needed to put something on there. That's what I was.
Oh. That's a good idea. Okay, now let's have everybody who got the calendar add an event to the calendar, something today. Okay, something today. So,
I'm adding people to my circle.
well, I said, this is what you should have had already. Yes, Tamika.
I was calling.
Oh, Phyllis. Okay, so for everyone else, just add an event to the calendar on today, so people aren't looking a long time ago. And you gave people editing rights or what? Okay, good. Okay, great.
We made it.
Everybody creating an event on the calendar? Okay, let me look at it.
Roll one.
Well, actually, you know what? I think it did it.
I thought I did. I don't know what happened. I don't understand what I'm doing.
So that's one event, but everybody should have an event on the calendar.
So you made it. Click on it.
Say share with specified.
Who created the calendar? Julie.
You said click on it.
So,
Where do I go?
Julie.
I got my way. I went to Wayne World.
Are you?
No, you don't need to create it.
I didn't make one. I
Julie
just wanted to
invites you. You need to go into your email.
Oh, I'm the arrow.
Oh, you do it right there. So I said these five.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, there go.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Move this one.
I ready?
This is just where I open.
Okay, you go share. You go do
Yes, I'm
mine.
going to just. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, mine.
Yeah.
Dot Wayne.
Everybody add an event to your
Wow,
calendar.
any.
To that new calendar,
Dot.
please.
52915.
2915.
Yeah, that's what I told her. She had.
No, I said.
Dennis, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Okay, so I think what we should do is go to your calendars and start going back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from some date of significance and just add to your personal calendar, your Res Jeski calendar, one of your calendars. Here's where I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Here's what I was doing. Here's what I thought I would be doing. And then you can continue that out to the future of, for the next 20 years, maybe in 5-year increments of where you want to be.
I'm sorry.
Yes, proceed.
I'm on my whatever you want calendar, and then when I created an event on that calendar, I had off my racing calendar, but it's putting that on by itself.
Okay, well, when you go into the create event, and it asks you what calendar,
Stepping this way.
Not at all.
okay, so below the,
I'm at the create event.
Why wouldn't it just show us there when I refresh?
It's not showing it on my calendar.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
No. I know.
You like mine?
If I go up here, this is my calendar, right? If I click this.
Yeah, it's on the,
Share.
it's at 6:61.
Make sure I got it. Now, I'll put
It.
it, I'll put it over here.
Phyllis.
Like,
Can you walk us
I want to share
Yes,
this.
exactly.
I want to put your email here.
So mine's showing up on
You
there.
need it?
Oh, lunch at table. Oh, I got
Right
yours.
here.
Oh, who's lunch at table?
Okay, so look right. Click this one.
Click it.
Click,
Could you help
this.
walk us through? I just try to do it and I don't know what it is.
To create an event?
To create, to send you guys my calendar. Here's my calendar.
no, you weren't creating a calendar. Phyllis created the calendar. You need to just accept it, get on it, so you're all on one calendar. Instead of having 4 calendars, she created a calendar and you 4 people are on it. Now you add something to the calendar so the other 4 people can see it. Has Tamika's joined your calendar? Okay.
Did you get that? We was only supposed to have one calendar for Phyllis, and we all go in.
So create an event on my calendar.
So go to here, right?
Go back. Okay, create an event. We figured out the problem.
Share.
How do I delete this calendar?
Go to your settings. Settings again. Go to calendars. The blue on top of it. Find your calendar.
Share.
Create an event.
I thought.
Yeah. Okay, now what else do I do? Go to just leave it up.
Do you want to give a certain time or?
I did.
Okay, where?
When you create an event.
I'll just put it.
Your location. Description. And then choose which calendar you want to put on. Where's this calendar has your name? Click it there and go to mine.
I don't see it.
Like the lunch. Create a.
Did you click? Did you add?
That's right.
I did.
I don't know, mine's
Because we're editors.
I might take it. Oh, I clicked here. Should have clicked over here.
Share calendar, or share. So this is your whatever calendar this is. Right here. No, go back. You're absolutely
What happened?
Every year.
Refresh you, that's,
Oh, yeah, he's the aggressor.
That's what I thought.
He's saying we don't need that.
So it's not there now.
Ron,
Are
you're
they
saying we
sending,
don't
are they
need
sending
it.
it
Say I
back?
don't need it. What are they
Are
trying
they
to
sending
I know.
back
She has to
stuff?
change.
I got one.
Okay, he's creating an event.
Oh, let's add an event. You added a guest. You added a guest. You gotta share.
There you go. You're on there, okay.
They
got the side.
Go, yeah.
Okay, so give me a picture.
CLG.
That's right.
Got it.
Julia.
So go to back row or team calendar. Oh,
No,
okay. I'll just leave that like it is.
I think.
Can you direct this one more time?
Okay, hang on.
Oh, I got it. That's true.
51315 at Gmail.
Now,
Did you get it, Tyler?
Yeah, ours is not on there.
okay, now, you say enter here, you say, then you go to save or do you hit?
Okay, we've got 3 minutes. Anybody need any help? Jesse, how's your team? Everybody done? Got it?
Yeah, we just needed to refresh our.
Okay.
Your calendar?
And in California, everybody's got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And let's see, Phyllis is helping, and Ronnie's helping, and Julia's helping.
Five,
What do you like?
513.
And then I just save it, correct? So now when I look on your,
Okay.
Dot.
I believe so. So where would it show up?
You pay for this day, right?
Yeah.
There.
Refresh your screen.
Dot.
No, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Dot com.
Just push enter.
Should push in.
There it is.
Okay.
No, but you were done.
Push in.
Putting whoever you're in,
Right.
then you push enter.
Okay, push, 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 push,
Give me a name.
push.
Absolutely.
It's untitled that.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half.
The last one, you
Save. And save.
Okay, Julia, how is your team? Your team?
We are good.
Okay, I saw that you invited me. That's extra points.
Got extra points. Practice it.
And save. Okay. Okay, save. Okay.
See, I've done it 3 different times. It's still not on there.
That's right.
Did you get a lunch?
From him?
What's Tamika trying to do?
Oh, code is in, at her event. There it goes.
There's LTCLD.
So it's because it wasn't colored in?
Yeah. Okay, so remember, you don't see the calendar unless the little box to the left of the calendar name is colored. If it's not colored, you won't be, none of the events will show up. And you might not see your calendar unless you click the arrow to the left of what? Other calendars. So they'll drop down and you can see the calendar on your screen.
There's all of
Okay, so it's break time, everyone. We're going to wrap this up tomorrow. Thank you for being there.
Thank you.
Bye, Joe.
them.